Hello, everybody. I'm gonna give it a minute or two. Hello. Today we are going to be doing a mindfulness Instagram live, so thank you all for joining. Hi guys. All right, so I'm just gonna kind of go ahead and do the statement of our company. So ConnectOC is a coalition dedicated to increasing accessibility to mental health services for Orange County transitional age youth, young adults, and their families by networking them to local community mental health resources. You can find more at connect-oc.org. So just a quick note, we are not mental health professionals. Our focus today will be on mindfulness and how it relates to mental health, but if anyone has any questions that are perhaps a bit more clinical and would benefit from the advice of a mental health professional, we encourage you to take a look at our saved story that provides some valuable resources. ConnectOC is funded by the OC Healthcare Agency Behavioral Health Services in the Office of Suicide Prevention through the Mental Health Services Act Prop 63. For more information, visit connect-oc.org. And feel free to stay and to complete our survey at the end of this live. It will be in our bio as well as posted on a story. Even if you're watching later, you can still submit that survey. So I'll go ahead and join with my guest, Joyce Gorman. Hello.
Hi.
I'm so excited for this conversation.
Me too. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. So I'll go ahead and just give a little introduction of you. So Joyce Gorman promotes mindfulness, yoga, and well-being in her daily and professional life. A California native, Joyce completed her undergraduate degree at University of California, Los Angeles. Joyce then studied mindfulness at Harvard University and earned a master's degree in kinesiology and integrative wellness from Point Loma Nazarene University. As a practicing national board certified health and wellness coach, Joyce works with her clients to create sustainable health behavior improvements to live a happier and healthier lifestyle. Joyce knows firsthand that the benefits of practicing yoga and mindfulness and loves sharing these practices with others. Living mindfully and tuning into the dimensions that support our well-being enable us to feel great and live well. All right. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Good. I'm so glad. All right. So kind of just to start off, what is mindfulness and what's been its impact in the world of mental health?
Well, there are many different definitions of mindfulness, but two I like to share. The first one would be from Jon Kabat-Zinn, which states that mindfulness is awareness that arises from paying attention on purpose in the present moment non-judgmentally. And then sometimes he'll add, in service of self-understanding and wisdom. And so we have that. And then I would also like to share that Ellen Langer, who I adore and who I worked with, puts it very, very simply and makes it really accessible, saying that mindfulness is the simple act of noticing things with a result of increased health, competence, and happiness. So I think those two really sum it up very well and give us a good sense of how we can utilize mindfulness in our everyday life. Just becoming more aware of ourselves, how we act, how we understand things, how we relate to others, how we take care of ourselves, how we see the world. And it plays into our overall well-being and, of course, our mental health. There's a ton of studies that show how mindfulness can impact anxiety, depression, smoking cessation, different substance use disorders. So there's definitely a lot of evidence and a lot of studies. So if you, you just Google or you do some research, there are plenty of ways that it can support mental health. So we'll continue to explore those today, and I hope that will help create a better understanding for everyone.
Yeah, awesome. So, what has been your personal journey with mindfulness, and what have you noticed change since adding mindfulness into your life?
Well, I was first exposed to mindfulness probably just through taking yoga class, although at first I didn't realize that that was what mindfulness was. I think a lot of people can tie into it in their everyday life and then create a more formal understanding as they go. But yeah, I started with yoga, and then in college I took a mind body class, which was probably one of my favorite, most impactful classes I've ever taken at UCLA, and was exposed to formal meditation practices. So I joined a workshop for that. And then I ended up pursuing a research internship in Boston at Harvard that
That's
studied
awesome.
mindfulness. So I was able to really become immersed within mindfulness. I was able to study and formulate studies and then test, our hypotheses in real time. So that was a lot of fun, and it was a good experience because I was in a new place. Not only was I studying mindfulness, but I was really able to put it to practice because I was able to notice new things in my environment.
Mm.
And there was a lot of novelty around me. There was the seasons, which we don't necessarily get in California, but that was one of the biggest things, to see all the different colors, to see the changes in weather on day to day. And
Yeah.
so now it's a part of my life. I still study it, I teach it, and I try to practice it as much as possible.
Oh, yeah. I bet you missed the seasons changing.
The winter was tough.
Yeah,
Living in California, you're not exposed to that type of weather, but it was really fun, and I loved
yeah.
the snow and everything.
That's amazing. So, is there a difference between meditation and mindfulness, would you say?
I would say that they're definitely linked, but meditation can be seen, or is mostly seen as more of a formal practice. So you sit down in meditation. There are many different types of meditation. A lot of people, I think, would imagine, a Buddhist sitting in a nice tall posture, working with breath work, but there's moving meditations. A lot of people would say dance could be a form of meditation, and then mindfulness would sort of be how we apply meditation in our everyday life. So you're being mindful when you are paying attention in real time and being present in your experience. And different forms of meditation can support our ability to be more mindful in our daily lives.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, how can habits connect to mindfulness? Do you think they play a part?
Definitely. I would say one thing that comes to mind when thinking of habits and mindfulness is to first look at mindlessness, which
Mm.
would be going through our everyday lives and maybe not paying attention to the things that we're doing. So a lot of us are very habitual creatures. So we do the same thing more or less on day to day. We brush our teeth, we take a shower, we get dressed, we go to work. And I mean, the classic example is driving in your car, getting from A to B, but then not being present through the whole journey. So,
Yeah.
being mindful when we're doing these things that are more or less habitual, we're able to become more present and be there when we're driving in the car and notice our surroundings, or
Yeah.
be there when we're brushing our teeth and maybe we switch and use the opposite hand to brush our teeth. So, challenging ourselves to be present and to change the way that we're conditioning ourselves to move, to act, to think, to listen. Um, so, so I would say that's where we start,
Yeah.
and then we can become more mindful in the habits that we create. So the more aware that we are of ourselves and our behaviors and the way that we look at the world, maybe that will help us tweak and start to adjust our behaviors. So if
Mm.
you want to create a new habit, you're learning about yourself, you're being mindful about yourself, and oh, how could living a healthier lifestyle fit into my everyday life? Let's be
Mm.
mindful about what are the choices I want to make myself be happier or exercise more or something of that sense.
Yeah, that reminds me, I took a managing crisis class and she had us do a mindfulness practice, like pick something intentional. And I picked, like every time I pick up my phone, I think why am I picking up my phone?
Yes,
And it helps. Honestly, I'm like, wait, yeah,
definitely.
why am I grabbing my phone right now if I don't need to? And
Hmm.
those little things, they like shift in your brain, and then they create like better habits. And another
Yeah.
one was, she said you can, every time you wash your hands, just be there, be
Hmm.
there when you're washing your hands. And I think that's super important to just implement in your life. And just like little things like that you can change, and it helps.
Yes, definitely. Like you're saying, scrolling. How often are we aimlessly scrolling on our phones? I'm so glad you brought that up. Or watching TV and not being present with our experience and how we feel and how the things that we look at and watch and listen to impact,
Mm.
our health overall, our mental health. It's very important.
Yeah, because you can be scrolling and then you scroll so fast that you don't, and then you realize you're in a bad mood, but you don't remember what you saw that put you in that bad
Yes.
mood. That's happened before too with me. I'm like, that's not good. You don't
Hmm.
realize what you're consuming because you consume it so fast.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, what are some different practical ways one can implement mindfulness in their daily routine, and where can they do them?
Well, you can start at any time, any moment, any place. I think, again, Ellen Langer makes it really accessible. Some of the things that she'll say is just to notice new things.
Mm-hmm.
So go outside. There's a gazillion different colors of green, types of green. So you can notice all the different types of green or all the textures in your environment, the variability in just one leaf or within a tree. Like really pay attention to your surroundings, is a really big one. I would say that's a perfect place to start. Another one would be, which we'll do at the end, is incorporating your senses. So paying attention to how things really taste. What are the smells that are in your environment? Are you really listening to your surroundings? So that really connects it to our physiology and makes it really accessible. There's also gratitude practices that you could do, breath practices that you can do. So I would say you can start really small, but the possibilities are endless.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give someone that wants to start implementing mindfulness in their life?
I would say start small, and also gravitate towards something that you're interested.
Oh, I think you cut out there for a second. Your audio.
Can
Okay.
you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now.
Oh, I'm back. Okay, I would say start small and then gravitate towards something that interests you or you think would make you feel good, because there's so many different practices. And so trust yourself. If you think that a mindful walk is going to make you feel really good, then do that. Feel your feet on the ground. Listen to your surroundings. Again, look around you. If you want to sit with your breath for a little bit and feel sensations in your body, then go ahead and give that a try.
Mm,
But yeah, I think it's different for everyone. And that's the beauty of this journey, is everyone can find a way to be mindful. And what really works for you might not be my favorite practice.
yeah, that's true. It's for me, I feel like music is really important. Like
Mm-hmm.
being whenever I'm trying to find some downtime, I tend to play my guitar and try to like be present in the moment and how I feel. And I feel like that really helps me to ground myself and remember like I am here in this moment.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
a beautiful example. I love that.
Yeah. What are some ways um, that you use mindfulness in your life?
So it really depends on how I'm feeling. I think at first, how mindfulness helps me is that I'm able to check in with myself and say, okay, how
Mm,
am I feeling in this moment?
yeah.
And then I've created my own toolbox of, okay, these are the things that help me feel better or become more grounded. And then I decide from there, do I need to spend time with my friends or do I need to just relax and lay down and be with my breath and be with my body and do
Yeah.
a body scan or something of that sort? Or do I need to be outside? And so it's really up to the person to choose again what's best for them. But I feel very fortunate that I've spent enough time around these different practices so I know what works for me. I know the things that I want to work on and spend more time practicing, because that's really what it is. It's
Yeah.
just practice. And I'm not mindful all the time. Like I
Yeah.
wish I were, but
We're
I have
human,
to
right?
remind myself. Have to remind myself. And one phrase I really like is the purposeful pause. So just taking a moment in your day wherever you are and just pause, take a breath, look around you, connect with something, even if you're just putting your hand on something related to nature or something like that. I think is a really cool tool.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I'll find myself like just when I want to decompress, I'll just like pet my dog, and there's
Yeah.
like something so relaxing about like just petting my dog and like cuddling with him. But yeah,
Mm-hmm. Pets are a perfect place to start.
yeah, definitely. Well, any resources that you would suggest that you would?
I think again, I really like Ellen Langer. John Kabat-Zinn has a lot of good research. Insight Timer, any of those apps, I really like Insight Timer apps, has a lot of different meditations, and you can go on and say, oh, I feel like doing this type of thing today, breath work or a loving kindness meditation. There's lots of different things. You can follow my Instagram page if you want. But yeah, there's a ton of research out there. There's a ton of resources. And so I think that's what's really nice about technology these days, and just the
Yeah.
way that wellness is going in general is these practices are out there. And so it's just a matter of taking a little time to find them. There's plenty of books as well. So yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, and definitely with everything going on in the world, I feel like it's really important to be mindful and to get in touch with those resources, which I'm glad that I think more people are finding those resources,
Yes.
which is amazing, because the more networking we do, the better everyone is.
Definitely. And I hope that, I mean, I think in time these practices become less stigmatized. I think some people are afraid to try mindfulness or meditation because it seems one way or another, but it's really about just, again, being with your body and being present, even with your family members. Like really look at them, spend time with the people that you love, be present with those conversations. That time is really valuable. Or if you're religious, it's prayer for you or something of that sort. So again, it really depends on the person.
Yeah. Before we close out, I just want to post the survey link, or
Okay.
the little
Great.
thing in the. I've never done this before, so I'm gonna try to like pin. There's like so many different things on live. I've never.
I know it's hard. It's hard to navigate.
All right, so I pinned it. If anyone has any questions, also feel free to enter them in the chat, and we can get those. But yeah, anything else you wanted to mention about, mindfulness, or any advice that you've gotten that changed your life, or anything like that?
I think just be open, and it's a process. I've been, immersed in this for a long time, and so I've kind of created my own way with it. So just be patient, and it's fun. It's cool to learn new things and have a different perspective. And I'm happy to lead, a little meditation for those who are here if you'd like.
Yeah, I think, also going off what you're saying, getting to know yourself is really important. It's all, I think that's what it really is just getting to know yourself, and how you go about your day, and the things that you find calming to yourself. It's really important.
Yeah. And the things that make you feel good, do more of that. Go towards the things that, again, you're gravitated towards, or something, even just picking up an old hobby that you used to do when you were young that was really fun.
Yeah.
grab a few friends and go play soccer or something. You don't have to just sit in meditation. There's plenty other things that you can do.
Yeah, definitely. It's beautiful. All right. Well, we can go ahead and close out with the mindfulness practice if you'd like.
Okay, perfect. So wherever you are, just find a nice, comfortable seated position. And we'll just begin with looking at our surroundings. So take a moment to scan the room that you're in, or if you're outside, that's great. And just allow yourself to go side to side, just noticing any colors, any textures that you see near and far, maybe different shapes around you. Maybe you notice something new that you haven't noticed before. And then take a moment to now tune into your sense of smell, taking a deep breath in. Maybe you notice any of the smells in your environment. Notice the taste in your mouth currently. And then if you feel comfortable, rest or close your eyes. Tuning now into sound, listening to the sound of my voice and the other sounds in your environment. They can be close to you or far away. Noticing that there may be some sounds that we want to pull toward us, or some sounds that we want to push away. One sound rises and it falls, one sound replaced by another. And then just allow yourself to get a sense for how you feel today. Noticing your skin, maybe the temperature of the air around you. And notice your breath within your body, taking a few inhales, letting the body soften with your exhale. And just allowing yourself to feel your breath in your body currently. You may notice if your breath has a temperature, it could be cool as it enters your nostrils. Perhaps it has a texture, it could be smooth or coarse. Maybe your breath has a pace. We notice if it's slow or quick. And then slowly letting your attention on your breath just rest into the background. You can move your fingers, move your toes. And gently open your eyes whenever you're ready. Coming back into the space. And knowing that these practices are things that you can come to at any time. You can come to your breath, you can come back to your senses. So that's a very accessible way to practice.
It was so relaxing.
Good. I would have kept it going, but I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Breath
Yeah.
work is definitely a good thing to calm your nervous system. If you're feeling anxious, just watch the breath, soothe the breath. It can be very helpful.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining our live. This was
Of
really a treat.
course. It was
Um,
very fun for me.
I just wanted to mention also, you can, for those listening or those watching right now and later, you can complete our survey at the link in our bio. And then as well, I'll post a story at the end of this. And I'll also post resources on our story for you guys to check those out, as well as Joyce Gorman's Instagram and email if you want to contact her.
Great.
All right. So thank you again. This was
Thank you.
great.
All right. Well, have a good rest of your day, everyone. And yes, anytime reach out if you have any questions.
Yes. All right. Have a great day.
Bye. Thank you. You
Bye.
too.